Alright, so if you're like me and you like to back into things with your brand new Lightning, then this is the video for you, because I've got a busted taillight and I need to get it fixed, and I'm going to show you how to do it. It's a pretty easy job, so let me go ahead and show you what we need. Okay, so what we have here is I've got a new taillight. So the first thing you're going to want to know is if you're doing a Pro, an XLT, or I think a Flash, you're going to have a different taillight than the Lariat and the Platinum. So it's a little tough to see. Actually, I'll go ahead and I'll peel this off and then I'll give it another look. Okay, there we go. So if you have the Lariat or the Platinum, you're going to have this like kind of curved light, the curved clear. And if not, it's going to be more of like a boxy. I'll share the image here in a minute so you guys can see the comparison. Okay, so the one on the left is for the Lariat and the Platinum, and the one on the right is for the Pro, the Flash, and the XLT. But pretty much it won't fit. If it's not a aesthetic thing, it won't fit. The other thing that you want to look at is that usually this is going to have like high designation, as I think for the Platinum and the Lariat. So I went online and I put my make, model, year, and trim to make sure I was getting the right part. So obviously do your due diligence, and I'll link to the forums where I checked all this stuff out. And this is a eBay part. So I went ahead and after I did this, I kind of busted up the bumper a little bit here, and you can't see it, but I got a little bit of a scratch on the fender, and I took this somewhere, and just for the tail light they were quoting $2,000 for the part, and like another, I don't know, like $500 in labor, which was crazy because you can get this part from Ford for $1,200. And I'm going to get into a little bit more nuance in that, but that $1,200 part I got for $650 on eBay, and you can see it was actually wrapped up pretty good. I know a lot of guys on the forums have had good luck getting them on eBay, so you might want to check that out. I think the seller was MPCC Motors or something like that, but if you look up Lightning 2022, 2024 tail lamp, you'll find it. They're usually about $650. So the nuance that I wanted to get into here is that this new is a $1,200 part. Now, I've already removed mine, but there is a radar sensor that goes right here that looks like this. Now, I'm hoping mine's not damaged, so I didn't have to buy it. But if you need this is another, I want to say $250 roughly. And if you do need to replace it, you need to reprogram the truck. So you need to bring it to Ford, and I think that's like another $125, $150. So if the radar needs to be replaced, you need to pay for the radar, and then you need to pay for the programming. So keep that in mind. If not, you might be able to get away with your old radar if it's not damaged, and just swapping it, and then avoid the whole programming. So there are, well, the tools you're going to need is, I have a T25, and you're going to need a 8mm. The T25 is that there is 3 screws here. This comes out, this goes in, it's held in by 2 more. I'll show that in a minute. And then the 8mm is, you're going to take this off, and you're going to take this off. This is going to pop out. You're going to pivot it this way kind of, and then kind of pull back. So I'll show that as well. So I will go ahead and start showing you that. Okay, so just don't do what I did here. I removed this 4th screw. I wasn't really paying attention. It's not actually part of holding it in, so I'm going to go ahead and put that back in. Okay, so now this is a little tough to take out because there is a seal around this. Oh wow, my new one has the radar. I'm still going to go ahead and remove it anyway because I don't want to reprogram it, but this is a surprise because I was not expecting this, so forgiven this price, but I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you how to remove it and replace it so we can actually see the two screws here. I'm going to go ahead and remove those and put my new radar in. I just wanted to share a couple of stills of the part from a couple angles so that way you guys can take a look at it so you know what it's supposed to look like before taking it apart. Okay, I've got my cover removed. I'm going to separate this. This has got a connector on it. This whole thing here actually comes out, so you just need to press on this tab here and then just give it a little wiggle. Actually, this one came out pretty easy. I got my new one. I'm going to put that back in the way I took it out. I'm going to take this back, see if I can put it back in the right orientation. I think this really can go in only one way, so I don't think it's actually that difficult. It might take me just a minute here though to get it fitted. Okay, I think I got that in right. I'm going to take this clip here. The screw holes are indented. You can kind of see that, so you want those facing down. And again, I think this will only really go in one way, so you don't really have to worry about that too much. Yeah, I think I might have put it in backwards, so let me take it back out. All right, let me show you that one more time, a little bit closer. So it's a little hard to see with the light here, but there's this little notch here. That's for the wire. Then there's this cavern here. And then on the back of the radar, you've got this nodule for the plug. You want the wire to fit in the cutout, and you want the plug to go at the far end. So wires coming in through the cutout, and then the plug is at the opposite end of the cutout. And then once you get this seated correctly, you're going to take this guy, and the flat side is going to go over the wire. And then remember, you want these sunken spaces here where the screws go facing down. Okay, so now I've got this back together. Now it's time to slot this back in like so. And remember, it's got that green seal around it, so you just got to kind of work it in a little bit. Once you do that, go ahead and screw it back together. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this real quick. Cross traffic system fault, ignore transmission not in park, blind spot system fault. You're going to want to keep that radar safe, mostly not exposed to water because it is a sensitive device, and that's kind of what I read online. Is a lot of people have had this problem. Maybe the radar was working, and then if you let water get into it, it's something that you're going to probably have to replace. So I went ahead and I removed mine. I don't know if it's going to cause any problems. We'll find out here in a few minutes, but I removed mine so I could keep driving the truck, and I wanted to keep it safe. And you know, it's winter here, and you mix of rain, mix of snow. It's not good for you know, trying to keep things safe and dry. So if you do, that's the alert that you'll get if you're driving without your radar on your passenger or your driver's side tail lamp. So all right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove our two 8mm. Okay, now I've removed this already to take the radar out, so it's a little bit looser possibly than yours, but you're gonna try to, like I said, pivot it out this way first. And then there are two pins going in at like a 45-degree here. So when you pivot it this way, then you want to pull straight back. And try to get those pins to disengage. There we go. There's that pin right there. And then there's the other one right there. And then they go into that hole. And it's a little tough to see, but there's another hole right there. And then I just need to remove this, plug my new one in, and then put it back in place. I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera because I've only got the one hand. And just to show you what not to do, I guess, you need to make sure you get these pins in, because even if you screw this in over here, so I got to go back and remove these again and try to get them in because I didn't engage them the first time. So just wanted to show you that before you install it and think it's done. All right, I just noticed mine was missing this little white washer, so I just transferred that from the other one. I'm going to try it again and we'll see if it wants to go in. All right, well, I've kind of pushed on it all I can, and my fingers are kind of getting cold, and I don't want to call it a night, but let's go ahead and move on to the next step and see if the truck recognizes it or if it complains. All right, let's try this again. Tailgate ajar, let me just clear that. I'm going to put it in drive, and I am not getting any complaints anymore. I was getting cross traffic alert, and I forget the other warning, but I showed it earlier in the video. And then also, I believe I was getting a warning right here, a symbol, which I don't seem to be getting anymore. So I think this is a success. I'll need to come back to this and figure out why it's not fitting, but I think that'll be better in the daylight. But I think for now, this at least makes me a little bit more happy. So I can figure out that fitment. I think that's a solvable problem. All right. Okay, so I just put my old one back in real quick just to see. And I mean, it's still, like, I can still get behind it. It's tough because the rest of the lens isn't there, the outer casing, but like I can still, actually, yeah, it's still a problem. So I think this might also be unique to me because I also, you know, I hit the bumper, I scratched the side of the bed. There's not really like a dent in it at all, but you know, it might be tweaked just the slightest. Although one of the things I can do with this one that might have helped is that this is flat right here, and I really could lift up, and I really pushed on it when I was putting it in. So I do think you need to lift it up and put it back, and I might need to shim it a little bit. So again, like I said, I'll show that tomorrow or when it's daylight out and when I figure it out. But I don't think it's the part. I think it's my installation, and I think it's also the fact that I might have bumped the truck and it's just not fitting as if it were, you know, as it's supposed to be. You know, not, you know, like I backed into a telephone pole. So you're you'll probably do a little better. All right, so it's a few days later and it's raining out, so I'm not gonna stay out here too long, but I think I found what the issue is, so let me go ahead and show you. All right, so I was looking online and I had seen some pictures, and down here you can see that I've got a retaining clip, but up here I do not. So I think that's my problem. So I'll show you in a sec where to get that part number. All right, so here I am on this is Ford OEM parts online, but really what you're interested in is this number here or this number there. And you can see what they look like. So these come as a set of 4, I believe, from Ford. But if you look this number up, you can find it a bunch of places. I couldn't find it on Amazon, but I'll probably get it from here. These are like $3, and then I'm sure like shipping. I was looking at another website, it was like $10, and then down here it fits the 2024 Lightning Flash Lariat Platinum Pro SSV, which I'm not familiar with, and the XLT. So if you're doing this, you might lose this, and if you're ordering online, it might just be an insurance policy just to order some, because it seems like they're pretty easy to come out. Obviously last night it was dark, or the other night when I was recording it was dark, so I didn't even see this. So, and I don't know if that's when I lost them, or because I've taken that taillight out a couple of times now. But this is what you need. Once I get it, I'll go ahead and I'll show the final install. So, all right. Okay, I got the new plugs here. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna try to make quick work of this. It's starting to snow, you can kind of see. So let me go ahead and get that pulled out, and I'll go ahead and show you when I get it. Okay, so that didn't take long. So these are not the right clips. I try to push them in, and they are just like nothing. I don't know if I can see this on camera. These have kind of like a triangle indent, I guess. But if you look at, let me see if I can get that. More like a rectangle. So, plow truck. Yeah, not the right one. I gotta go back to the drawing board on this one, see if I can find those parts. All right, I'll check back in with you. All right, so I just got out of the Ford dealer and I picked up my part. So if you probably want to watch out for this as well, but here's the old part. Oh, camera. And here's the new part. So I'll put them side by side. It's quite a bit smaller, and this one has more of like a rectangular profile. And then if I show you what they look like, it's more of like a rectangular. Yeah. So, and then let's see, this part number W721531S300. So, and I'll put that in the description as well. So let's get home and I'll put it in. All right, moment of truth. Fits. All right. Okay, so just as a quick reference, this is not the right piece, and this one is. All right, much better. I haven't even screwed it in yet, but I definitely can't pull that at all now, so there's a little bit to grab here, but it's not moving. So I'm just gonna put the screws back in. I think that's it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helps you out. And again, these are the part numbers here for what you need. So just check that out before you go ahead and order them. All right.
Let's see, this goes back in.